Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's use case team call. This call is recorded and will probably be uploaded on YouTube, so be aware of that. Thanks for joining. So regarding ONF Connect, the call for papers, we actually have now 9 submissions and we are in the process of selecting 8 of them in the best case, 6 of them in the worst case, depending on the slot time. And the notification will be given very shortly. I think Friday is the end date for the notification on the talks. So I think as they are right now, they're pretty good. I like them very much. There is an overview of everything we're doing, from open line systems to transponders to TAPI to ONOS. There's a pretty good mix of what we're doing. So I like the submissions. For the ONF Connect demo, and I was discussing this with Stefan before. So as I said, there is a hardware spreadsheet here for anybody that wants to contribute some hardware. Please do put it here. Again, local or remote, that can yet to be decided. It can be a local, meaning a 2NF connect in the venue, or remote connected to, for example, some place like the Telefonica lab or NTT lab or ADVA lab or Nokia lab or somewhere else. My thinking is that we will have at least locally 2 Cassini and 2 ROADMs, because those can be provided by TIP. And they have them in Menlo Park, so I think we can just leverage those, at least locally. And remotely, it would be probably at least be another 2 Cassini with an ADVA open line system in conjunction with Telefonica. I will send this out to everybody, and the topology is what I discussed last time. Both ROADM and open line system. If we have an open line system controller in site at ONF Connect, we will have them connected to the same 2 transponders to show resiliency on different paths. If we don't have it, we just go with what we have locally there and remotely to another connection. The demo plan, again, optical channel setup with transponder and OLS, with transponder and ROADM, power configuration on the transponders with a multi-OLS environment. As a stretch on automatic power workflow end-to-end, I probably ought to add here manual configuration / retrieval of power on this. That because that is pending on the TAPI integration of both TAPI itself and the open line system implementation of that. So I don't want to commit to it. I think this is a pretty cool demo nonetheless, and we can decide the power on the open line system on a stretch / if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So I think that's pretty good what we have. Again, I would like to have a feature freeze on July 30th for testing and functionality. I'm going to be in Menlo Park starting the 25th, which is Sunday, so 26th morning. I will be in Menlo Park for hardware setup and integration testing on site. And then probably the setup of the demo will happen on Monday the 9th or the 10th. Monday the 9th or Tuesday the 10th. At the ONF Connect venue in Santa Clara. Okay, that was all on my ONF demo talk. I will discuss more with Stefan and Telefonica for the Cassini plus open line system, and I will discuss more with a tip to lend me those 2 Lumentum ROADMs that we will have for that demo over there. Any questions? Any thoughts? Okay. Then if not, I'll skip the Sterlite discussion because they are not here. Just a small recap, they're working on the modulation and they're also working on OSNR. They had an investigation to do in order to achieve OSNR out of ESNR. Meaning that some through calculation we could evaluate the OSNR out of the ESNR read from the Cassini, because the OpenConfig standard just has the ESNR parameter that we can read. We still have the OpenConfig extension proposal for a allowed power range, so if anybody is interested, please do take a look at it. It's here. It adds very small leaves to it, adding basically the dBs of the allowed working power, meaning that as an output I cannot go over a certain power, really from a physical point of view, not from a configuration point of view. It's really a physical parameter of the hardware. And that was needed for the power workflow. That's why I kind of set it as a stretch goal. Okay. Let me quickly go over some Jira stories that we worked on. Since Alessio is on the call, I would like to ask him about the completion of the work on 7980, which is the Lumentum move to the device connection cache. Alessio, can you give us an update?
Yes, Andrea, can you hear me?
Yes, perfectly fine, thanks.
Yeah. Yes, I have submitted that patch, and I guess if I remember, you merged it a few weeks,
yes.
a pair of weeks ago. Yes, essentially I've aligned it to the device, to the distributed cache, and also in the same patch I have cleaned the code and aligned the flow rule programmable with the approach that we have used also in the OpenConfig driver and the OpenRodman driver, because this Lumentum driver was, to say, one of the first flow rule programmable that on which I worked on. So it was a bit, to say, not very clean, and now it is. This is the update that we did. Also, I have included the partner port support that is also in the OpenRodm patch that is on the Garrett by Ramon, so that now we can use the Lumentum also for bidirectional intents. And this is I would say quite a weird case in which some of the ports are presented to the controller as unidirectional, that are the port of the MUX and of the DMUX, while other ports are presented as bidirectional, that are the line ports. However, with the current approach, we are able to manage both bidirectional and unidirectional port also in the same device. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Alessio. In the meantime, can you also update us on 7975, which is Ramon's work, but I know you know it.
Yeah. What we did now, what I can say is that we used this patch in the demo of the Metrol at EU CNC conference. We used the first patch that Ramon has uploaded last week, I guess. After that upload, we have received many, I would say, comments, and Ramon is on the way for addressing these comments. Also, in our lab, we have downloaded it and tested the same patch with our OpenRodman agents, and so I also have submitted some comments. So we are double testing it, and I guess Ramon will soon upload the final version.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good to merge. So in the next days, if anybody has no more comments, I think I'll just merge it. I think it's very good work, and so finally ODTN has also a capability to talk Open Road to the two compliant, which can attract other people to the platform. I think it's a very interesting thing. On another side note, and this is going to be my update, we finished 7995 from Buyan. So he moved the old OpenRODM custom view to GUI 2 and added the capability of dealing with the transponders. When I say dealing with transponders, it's just reading values. I was discussing today with Alessio a little bit that we need to update this UI for uh, adding the capability to send out flow rules that can be understood by the flow rule programmable we have for the transponders. It's just a small minor patch, but then this can actually become a more generic optical GUI, and we'll probably make that change. On a side note, thanks again to Booyan, we have a TAPI emulator done with Netopeer that returns the same things that the TAPI ADVA open line system returns. So we can now test the workflow of two transponders and one open line system fully emulated. When I say emulated, no real traffic passes, but at least we have an endpoint to which we know that the software stack with ONOS is working. He's on the process of, so we are now capable of getting the ports and getting the optical channels and on the open on through TAPI. We are currently in progress of making the capability set, adding the capability to set the connectivity service to simulate the provisioning of the optical channel. So that's what's going on, and those are 7993 and 7996. 7978 and 7979 are Sterlite work to do the modulation on the OpenConfig devices. So that was all on the Jira stories. Hi, Amandeep. This is your first time here?
Yes.
Can you introduce yourself, please?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Amandeep from Sterlite Tech.
Oh, okay. Thanks. Great. Nice to hear from you. I was just about talking about the modulation work that you guys were doing. Do you have any update on that?
Need a bit more input on that, first of
Okay.
all, because I just joined, though I don't know what the context are you talking about.
Also, I was talking with Vishnu and Puneet, and I know you guys are working on a modulation set of behaviors and workflow to enable modulation configuration to OpenConfig on the transponders. So I was wondering if you had any update on that work.
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks. Okay, that was it on the Jira stories. I see Karthik on the call. Karthik, can you give us an update on TAPI?
Hey, Andrea. Yeah.
Hello.
So we are going to be doing RC3 this week, and we have some more fixes that we are going to be including in that. One of them is related to photonic, which Shaturu had proposed. So you can look at the GitHub issues as well as TAPI nodes. You'll find the thing, but it's not anything major. So it's something that you would want to look at. And once we do RC3, we plan to submit this to the TST for approval. So we expect like around mid-July, the final approval into 2.2 release. So,
Okay.
and one other thing was the discussion on the IDs, RESTConf
Yes.
IDs, who provides IDs. We took it to the NetMod group, and the reply was that yes, your client needs to provide the key, whatever it might be, like your ID or whatever it is, in the post request. So that kind of closes that issue. So we also noted that in TAPI that in case of configurable entities, like the keys have to be provided in the post by the client. I mean, a lot of people are unhappy with this resolution, but it is what it is. Because the general feeling here is that the server is the one that maintains all the UIDs and keys, ID generation. But the response requires that the keys are provided by the client. So also, like we also made a decision to release in RC3 like the open API specs. Again, it doesn't impact ODTN, but because they're using YANG. But we agreed that even though the open API specs have some issues, we'll still include it and fix it in later release.
Okay. On the UID side, will there be any? So, because at the moment it's just a string, so will there be any check on required by TAPI or any format required by TAPI to keep this?
Yeah, TAPI requires a UID format as per an RFC. I forgot which one it is, but it does require a format. So we have a so UID is actually a data. It's a data type in TAPI, and we haven't used the IETF from the IETF types. I think UID we have not used that, but in future release we'll do that. But we do require that it follows the format. I forgot what's the RFC number for that.
Is this documented?
Is there in the comments or the descriptions of the TAPI UID
Okay.
field? Let me just check what RFC. So it's RFC 4122. The format, the string representation as described in RFC 4122.
Okay. Perfect. So.
And it's standard actually, so it's pretty good. And it's once you use that, it's the probability of an UID, a duplicate UID is almost, I would say, very infinitesimal. It's very, very low.
Okay, perfect.
So it doesn't matter really that who generates the ID, client or server.
Okay, that's good. Actually like this approach. That was the same assumption we took with the folks from ADVA when we did the OFC demo. So I think this perfectly aligns with ODTN. I will have to go back and remove the to-do, move to something, and make sure that the UID generation is according to spec. I need to put in a Jira story to do that.
It's fairly standard. Actually, if you're using Java, there's a library for it. So it's not like we have to do anything much. Almost most languages have support for it. So one key thing would be that in TAPI RPCs, we never had a UID parameter because originally TAPI we never intended client to provide UID, right? So we have to update the RPCs to include UID as an input parameter to keep it consistent with the post of the data trees, data style operations. So that's one thing we noted today. We'll be doing that this week. We'll be updating the RPCs, create RPCs to include UID parameters as input parameter.
Okay, and this is
then we also said that for future release, we will consider having like two UIDs. One is server assigned, one is client assigned, because we had some discussion on who controls this ID generation, and in the end, we may consider that. I mean, we'll consider that in the future release. It requires some discussion from that.
I would avoid that, but that's my just personal opinion. It would create confusion.
Right. So I will invite you to the discussion. Just we didn't make any decision. We said we'll consider.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
So we deferred the discussion. Yeah, so, even I agree. I don't like the idea of having two keys. It serves no purpose.
No, because the whole point of a key is that it is unique.
Right.
Okay. I will make sure of this. Okay, yes. Please do invite me to that discussion. I will update the TAPI drivers in ONOS to be according to this specification, and I will make sure that in any further development with the TAPI, we keep this as a use case. It's good that you guys decided on it, so we don't have any debate in future stuff.
Yeah.
Is this going to be in the release notes of 2.2?
So what I do in release notes, because we have so many issues, so I just put I use the GitHub issues, and I put a link to that. I generate and commit from the commit log. I generate an output, and I put it as a change log. So all the issues, all the pull requests will be in the change log with the links and so on. So it will be there, but it won't be like an explicit. It will be like 1 or 2 levels down into the release notes.
Okay, so sure, that's fine. I'll just
Right.
keep it updated, and I'll just make sure that
Right.
everybody knows about this.
Yeah. We will not highlight it too much. It's just like any other issues that we had in Tappy.
Yeah, it's fine. But I think it's a major milestone. I think it's a major milestone for us, because there was a lot of debate, and now we have it settled. Okay, perfect. Okay. I think I'll skip the rest of the points because I have a call at 5:30, as I said before. Are there any questions, any other thoughts that you guys prefer to discuss today? Okay, thanks. If not, I'll encourage everybody to update the spreadsheet if you guys have any equipment that you want to put into ONF Connect / other demos, both locally and remotely, and I'll share the recording, and then we can set up different calls with different people for the different demos that we are gonna have. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye,
Thanks.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.